Good afternoon, children. Yesterday, we have successfully completed the chapter The Open Window, which was a very interesting story, and it was the witness of the intelligence of a teenage girl, Bera. Now, today, I'm going to explain you the last chapter of our supplementary book. It so happened, and the last chapter is very interesting and it is also very lengthy. And this story is completely based on the Indian atmosphere. And when we will start the story, we came to know that many a time similar conditions, similar activities have been occurred with us. And the writer of this chapter is Nadeem Ahmad Kasmi, and it is translated by Sophia Pathan. It is the autobiographical story of writer's own life. So, in other words, we can say that as students, I have many time I have explained you that the life history of a person or the autobiographical elements when a person writes about his life himself, then such type of story is called the autobiography. And when some other person is writes about the a writer, then it is called the biography. So it is the autobiographical story which is based on the student life. In other words, you can say it is also the story of a teenager when the writer Nadeem Ahmad Kazmi was a student, and what mistake he has done in his life. It is very interesting, and it also tells us that in the beginning of our life, or you can say that in the childhood, we completed some foolish activities, and when we become young and remember such type of activities, then we feel that how foolishly we have completed these activities in our childhood. So it is the story. As the title of the story is explains that Jalebis, it is a very tasty sweet dish, and many a time in our childhood we love to eat it. So it is also the story of a person who of a student who liked to eat this sweet very much. What is the story? Then I will explain you. An honest boy is on his way to school. एक बहुत ही ऑनेस्ट ईमानदार लड़का है, वो स्कूल जा रहा था. कैरिंग मनी इन हिज पॉकेट, उसके पॉकेट में पैसे थे. टू पे द स्कूल फी, उसे उन पैसों से अपनी स्कूल फी देनी थी. द साइट ऑफ द क्रिस्प syrupy jalebis in the market excites him, and the coins in his pockets began to jingle. जैसे वो जलेबी देखता है, हमारी जेब में पैसे होते हैं वो खनकने लगते हैं, तो जो फीस के पैसे उसकी जेब में पड़े हुए थे वो खनकने लगते हैं. आफ्टर ए लॉन्ग डिबेट विद हिमसेल्फ ही ईल्ड, वो अपने उसके अंतर एक डिबेट चलती है, एक अंतर्द्वंद चलता है, एक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट चलता है, और उसके अकॉर्डिंग जो है वो लास्ट में यील्ड माने होता है बेटा सरेंडर करना. वो सरेंडर कर देता है टू द स्वीट टेम्पटेशन, उसकी जो उसकी जो टंग है उसके आगे वो सरेंडर कर देता है, और स्कूल की जो फी उसके पास थी उन पैसों से वो एट लास्ट ही यूज दिस मनी टू बाई द जलेबीज. This is the story. What happened at last? What is the story? What is the end of the story? What is the classic of the story? Then everything you will come to know. And you have to attend. I think we will take the 2 or 3 lecture to complete this long story. So you have to attend it attentively and hear me attentively. Now I am going to start your story, and I am hopeful that today in this video we will successfully completed the part first. Now pay attention. It happened many years ago. बहुत पहले की बात है. I was in the 5th standard at the government school कम्बेलपुर. मैं कम्बेलपुर के सरकारी स्कूल में पढ़ता था 5th स्टैंडर्ड में. Now called Attack. Now it is called Attack. One day I went to school with 4 rupees in my pocket. One day when the writer was going to school and he had 4 rupees in his pocket to pay the school fee and the fund. जो स्कूल फंड होता है उसके लिए और स्कूल फी उसे पे करनी थी. When I got there, I found that the teacher who collected the fee, Master Ghulam Muhammad, was on leave, and so fees would be collected the next day. जब मैं स्कूल पहुंचा तो मुझे पता चला जो टीचर, जो रेस्पॉन्सिबल, जो इंचार्ज टीचर हैं मिस्टर गुलाम मोहम्मद, उस दिन छुट्टी पे थे और फीस जो है द फीस विल बी डिपॉजिट नेक्स्ट डे. ऑल्दो द डे कॉइन्स सिंपली सेट इन माई पॉकेट. कॉइन्स पूरे दिन जो है जो मेरे जेब में पैसे थे, वो कॉइन्स सिक्के जो थे, ये लग रहा था मेरी जेब में बोल रहे हैं. बट वंस स्कूल गॉट ओवर, जब स्कूल की छुट्टी हो गई, आई वॉज आउटसाइड, जब मैं बाहर आया, दे बिगेन टू स्पीक. नाउ आई वॉज फीलिंग एज द कॉइन्स इन माई पॉकेट वॉज स्पीकिंग टू मी. दे वर सेइंग मी टू समथिंग. ऑल राइट, कॉइन्स डोंट टॉक. कोई बात नहीं, कॉइन्स डोंट टॉक. कॉइन्स नहीं बोल रहे थे. दे जिंगल और गो खनक खनक, बट आई एम टेलिंग यू ओनली the sound, the khanak sound of the coins were coming from my pocket, and I am telling you that the coins were telling me something. That day they actually spoke, but that day when I was returning from school, in the way they started to speaking with me. One coin said, एक सिक्का क्या कहता है? What are you thinking about? तुम क्या सोचते हो? Those fresh hot jalebis coming out of the काड़ू, कढ़ाई से गरम गरम मीठी जलेबी निकलेंगी. इन द शॉप ओवर देयर, वो तुमने नहीं देखी? ओवर देयर देयर आर नॉट कमिंग आउट फॉर नथिंग जलेबीज. क्या बढ़िया स्वादिष्ट जलेबी हैं. जलेबीज आर मीन्ट टू बी ईटन एंड ओनली दोज विद मनी. और इन पैसों से अगर मैं जलेबी खाऊंगा तो मज़ा आ जाएगा. व्हाट अ स्वीट डिश इट इज़, एंड श्योरली this dish was very dear to the writer. In their pocket can eat them. In their pocket can eat them. And now I have the money in my pocket, and with the using of this money I can eat them. And money is not for nothing. Money is not for nothing. I have no money. Money is meant to be spent, and only they spend it. अब पैसा किस लिए होता है? The boy thinking, because he was a teenager, he was thinking in his mind, money is the money, you can spend them in anything, and the money are given only for spending. पैसा तो खर्च करने के लिए मिलता है. To be spent, and only they spend it. Who likes jalebi? And I like jalebi. Then I have the right that I have to spend my money on jalebis. Look here, देखो, you 4 rupees, तुम्हारे पास 4 रुपए हैं. I said to them, in other way, children, we can say that there was a struggle between the rupees and the wish of the writer. As a child, he wanted to eat the jalebis, and the money in his pocket were again and again disturbing his peace of mind that he can use them in eating the jalebis. But the writer was in a great struggle. I am a good boy. At once he said to himself, No, I am a good boy. मैं एक अच्छा लड़का हूँ. Don't misguide me. मुझे misguide मत करो. और it won't be good for you. ये तुम्हारे लिए अच्छा नहीं होगा. I get so much at home. मुझे घर पे बहुत कुछ खाने को मिलता है. That I consider even looking at something in the बाजार a sin. उसके बावजूद अगर मैं बाजार में कुछ देखूं, लालच भरी दृष्टि से कहीं कुछ देखूं, तो आई थिंक दिट इज अ सिन फॉर मी. ये मेरे लिए पाप है. बिसाइड्स यू आर माई फी. तो मेरे फीस के पैसे हो. एंड फंड मनी. इफ आई स्पेंड यू टुडे, इफ आई स्पेंड द मनी टुडे इन जलेबीज, then how shall I show my face to Master Ghulam Muhammad? Then how can I see my face to Master Ghulam Muhammad in school tomorrow? तो मैं कल क्या करूँगा? And after that to Allah मियाँ at क़यामत. और जब क़यामत का दिन आएगा, it is also called the day of doom. Children, according to the Islam, after the death, when the day of doom आएगा, जब क़यामत आएगी, तो उसके बाद जो है हम क्या मुंह दिखाएंगे? आफ्टर इट नाउ there was a struggle in the mind of the writer, and the money and especially the coins which was making a sound in his pocket. Now according to him, look at you, for rupees I said to them, I am a good boy, don't misguide me. कहा मुझे misguide मत करो, और I want be a good. Yes, at last I have come here. कह रहा अगर मैं इनसे जलेबी खा लूँगा, then what will I say next day to my teacher Master Ghulam Muhammad in school tomorrow, and after that to Allah मियाँ at क़यामत. और क़यामत के दिन मैं अल्लाह मियाँ को क्या मुँह दिखाऊँगा? You probably don't know it, but when Master Ghulam Muhammad gets angry and makes you stand on the bench, जब गुलाम मोहम्मद मुझसे नाराज होंगे और मुझे बेंच पे खड़ा करेंगे, he simply forgets to let you sit till the last bell rings. और तब तक खड़ा रहना पड़ेगा till the last bell rings. So it is best you stop chewing at my ears. Now don't tell me different things in my ears like this, and let me go home straight. Now I want to go home straight. I have no courage to spend the money on jalebis. The coins disliked what I would said so much that all of them began to speak at the same time. But the coins disliked my answer, and they again encouraged me. And in the same manner, in a chorus, they have to ask me again, they have to speak me again. There was such a clamor of that passers-by in the bazaar stared. मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था जैसे जो पासर्स बाई हैं, जो रागीर हैं बाजार में, मुझे देख रहे हैं सब. Eyes wide and surprised, all the people who were passing from the market, they were staring at me surprisingly, at me and my pocket, the coins of those days, and the coins of those days. The breast thing made so much more noise too. Now the coins were making a lot of noise too. Finally, in a panic, there was a panic. I grabbed all four of them and held them tightly in my fist. Now, as the coins were making a noise, so I have held all the coins in my pocket tightly in my fist, and then they were silent. नाउ द कॉइन्स बिकेम एट वंस साइलेंट। अब वो कॉइन्स जो हैं सब साइलेंट हो गए। आफ्टर taking a few steps, when the writer was returning from school to his home, after taking a few steps, मैंने मार्केट में से जब मैं चला, कुछ स्टेप्स चला, कुछ कदम चला, I loosed my grip. Then my grip was again loosed. Immediately the oldest coin said, and at once the oldest coin said, here we are trying to tell you something for your own good, and you try to strangle us instead. Here we are trying to tell you something for your own good, and you try to strangle us instead. Now you are trying to make us fool. Tell me honestly now. अब मुझे ईमानदारी से बताओ, don't you feel like eating those hot jalebis? Now tell me really, that you don't want to eat those hot jalebis, and then if you do end up spending us for today, and if you do end up spending us for today, अगर तुम मुझे आज खर्च करते हो, won't you get the scholarship money tomorrow? कल तुम्हें स्कॉलरशिप का पैसा भी तो मिल जाएगा। स्वीट्स विद फी मनी, जो फी का पैसा उससे मिठाई खा लो। फीस विद द स्कॉलरशिप, और जो स्कॉलरशिप का पैसा मिलेगा उससे अपनी फीस जमा कर देना। एवरीथिंग इज सिंपल। एंड ऑफ द स्टोरी, द एंड ऑफ द स्टोरी, किस्सा खत्म, पैसा हजम। नाउ ही थॉट इन हिज माइंड दैट टुमारो आई विल गेट माई द मनी ऑफ स्कॉलरशिप। कल मुझे स्कॉलरशिप का जो पैसा मिलेगा उससे मैं जो है अपनी स्कूल फीस सबमिट कर दूंगा, और अभी जो मेरे पास पैसा है उससे जो है मैं जलेबी खा लूंगा। किस्सा खत्म, पैसा हजम। What you are saying is not right. जो तुम कह रहे हो, again the self-respect and the soul of the writer stopped him to do so. I replied, but it is not that wrong either. इसमें गलत क्या है? Listen, stop blabbering and let me think. मुझे थोड़ा सोचने दो। I am not a common sort of boy. मैं कोई ऐसा वैसा लड़का नहीं हूँ। But then these jalebis are no common sort of jalebis. But these jalebis are also not common either. They are crisps, ताजी है, full of sweet syrup. मिठाई भरी हुई है इसमें। My mouth watered. मेरे मुंह में पानी आ गया। But I was not about to be swept away so easily. But nobody can make me be fooled so easily. In school, I am among the most promising students. स्कूल में मेरी जो इमेज है वो बहुत ही अच्छे बच्चों की है। In the fourth standard exams, फोर्थ के एग्जाम से ही I had even won a scholarship. मैंने स्कॉलरशिप जीती थी of 4 rupees a month. एक महीने में मुझे 4 रुपये मिलते थे। Besides, I came from particularly well-to-do family. Although I was coming from a good family, so I enjoyed considerable prestige. There was a prestige in a school of my family. I would never been beaten so far. आज तक मेरी फिजिकली पिटाई भी नहीं हुई थी। On of such status, I have a status in my class, standing there in the middle of the bazaar eating jalebis. और मेरे जैसा बच्चा, एक अच्छा बच्चा क्लास का, related to a good family, is standing in the market and eating the jalebis. No, it is not good. ये अच्छा नहीं है. It was not right. I decided. I clenched the rupees in my fist. मैंने रुपए अपनी फिस्ट, अपनी मुट्ठी में दबाए, and came home, और चुपचाप अपने घर आ गया। Now here at home there was also a struggle in the mind of the writer. The coins were so keen or being spent that day, but the coins were again inspiring him to spend on that day on jalebis. They kept up their attempts at persuasion. They kept up their attempt on persuasion till their voices began to choke. जब तक उनकी आवाज़ बंद नहीं हो गई। When I reached home, जब मैं घर पहुंचा, and sat on the bed, जाके बिस्तर पे बैठ गया, and began to speak, मैं अपने आप से कह रहा था, I went inside to have lunch, घर में गया, लंच किया। They began to shriek, the coin again start to tell me, thoroughly fed up, खाना खा लिया। I rushed out of the house barefoot, मैं नंगे पैर ही घर से चल दिया, and ran towards the बाजार, मार्केट में गया। Terrified I was so terrified, but quickly I told the हलवाई, जल्दी से मैंने हलवाई से कहा, to wait a whole rupees worth of jalebis, कि पूरे 1 रुपए की जलेबी मुझे तोल दो। His astonished look seemed to be asking, उसकी नज़र मुझसे ये लग रहा था जैसे मुझसे पूछ रही हो, where I had the hand cart in which I would carry those jalebis, क्या मेरे पास कोई गाड़ी थी जिसमें मैं जो है ये जलेबी लेके जाऊंगा। Those were inexpensive times, वो बड़ा an expensive time था, and there were the importance of 1 rupees more than today. 1 rupee faced more than 20 rupees, उस समय 1 रुपए का मतलब था आज के 20 रुपए। Does nowadays, the हलवाई opened up a whole newspaper, हलवाई ने पूरा न्यूज़पेपर खोला, and heaped a pile of jalebis on it, और उसने पूरी जलेबी का एक हीप, एक ढेर लगा दिया, and he had handed me the jalebis. Now student, the writer tried his best, and successfully he, after the school, he reached home from the market, but at last he couldn't control himself, and at last he came to the market and ordered the sweetmeat seller to give him one of the jalebis of 1 rupees. And it is the whole story of part first, and tomorrow we will carry on the chapter. The story is so interesting, student. It is a very interesting story, and the second part is also very interesting, and you will have to enjoy of this story, and we will try to carry on the story next day. Okay students, goodbye.